Turning now to other news, former President Donald Trump faced his first full day with the looming possibility of facing years behind bars. He pleaded not guilty in a Miami courtroom to federal criminal charges for his mishandling of classified documents. His supporters and many fellow Republicans are accusing the federal government of weaponizing the Justice Department. Attorney General Merrick Garland sought to protect the DOJ from those attacks by handing the case off to special counsel Jack Smith. Earlier today, Garland was asked about the case.
Mr. Smith is a veteran career prosecutor. He has assembled a group of experienced and talented prosecutors and agents who share his commitment to integrity and the rule of law.
While Donald Trump may be the first U.S. president to be facing federal criminal charges, one former U.S. Air Force intelligence officer was just sentenced to prison for almost the exact same crime. Retired Lieutenant Colonel Robert Birchum was sentenced June 1st to 3 years in prison. Birchum pleaded guilty in February to unlawfully possessing classified documents relating to national defense. NewsNation chief Washington correspondent Blake Burman joins us now. There are a lot of similarity between his charges and the ones that former President Trump are facing.
Yeah, indeed, Elizabeth. This sentencing just came down, by the way, exactly 2 weeks ago. It involves charges, as you mentioned, bearing a striking resemblance to those faced by the former president. One big difference here, though, the defendant in this case admitted guilt in court and still got hit with a stiff sentence.
A former Air Force intelligence officer charged with the same crime as former President Trump, recently convicted and facing prison time. Earlier this month, former Lieutenant Colonel Robert Birchum was sentenced to 3 years in prison after pleading guilty to the same section of the Espionage Act as the former president, unlawful possession and retention of national defense information.
The comparisons are virtually identical to each other.
In 2017, law enforcement officers discovered Birchum had knowingly taken over 300 classified files, over 30 marked top secret, and stored them in his home, an overseas office, and a storage pod in his driveway.
It doesn't matter where you stored them. If you took a document from an area that was a classified storage facility and you stored it anywhere else, the charge is the same, taking it from a place where it should be and keeping it somewhere that it wasn't.
Over his 29-year career, Birchum served in various intelligence positions, working with intelligence information from the Joint Special Operations Command, and the Director of National Intelligence. Among the files was a thumb drive containing information about the NSA that could cause, quote, exceptionally grave damage if it was released. In court, Birchum spoke about his struggles with PTSD and said taking the documents was a series of mistakes on his part.
That's something a judge considers. They consider the biographical and physical health of any defendant who appears in front of them. While it may not excuse the behavior, it might explain the behavior.
Investigators said there was no indication that Birchum ever distributed the classified information, and he was cooperative with authorities throughout the investigation.
Now, Birchum is set to serve about half of the 6.5-year sentence that prosecutors had originally asked for. Elizabeth, he will report to prison 1 month from now, July 17th.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.